Hey everyone, I don't normally do vlogs in my classes because I hate having pictures and doing videos in my classes on, but I'm gonna have to read something from my Kindle. As a lot of you know, I'm a big Cassandra Clare fan. I love the infernal devices and I love mortal instruments. So when I heard about this court case saying that this other author was suing Cassandra, saying that basically Cassandra had stolen the mortal instruments, or the idea for mortal instruments and infernal devices from her, I kind of something's not adding up here, something's not right. So I decided that I would read both infernal devices, mortal instruments, infernal devices, and the first book of the Dark Hunter series, and I'm going to read you a few pages from mortal instruments, then I'll read you a few pages from infernal devices, then I'll read you a few pages from this Dark Hunter series. And I'm really sorry about my voice, but I've had a cold for the past 2 weeks, so I'll do my best. Okay, this is from City of Bones, Mortal Instruments. Part 1, The Dark Descent. Sung into chaos and eternal night, fought by unfamiliar muses, to venture down the dark descent, and up to reascend. John Milton, Paradise Lost. Pandemonium. You've got to be kidding me, the bouncer said, folding his arms across his chest. He stared down at the boy in the red zip-up jacket and shook his shaved head. You can't bring that thing in here. 50 or so teenagers in line outside the Pandemonium Club leaned forward to eavesdrop. It was for a long wait to get into the all-ages club, especially on a Sunday, and not much generally happened in line. The bouncers were fierce, and he would come down instantly on anyone who looked like they were going to start trouble. 15-year-old Claire Frey, standing in line with best friend Simon, leaned forward with everyone else, hoping for some excitement. Oh, come on. The kid hoisted the thing up off his head. It looked like a weapon beam, pointed at the bouncer. Pointed at one end. It's part of my costume. The bouncer raised an eyebrow. Which is? The boy grinned. He was normal enough looking, Chloe thought. For the pandemonium, he had electric blue dyed hair that stuck up around his head, like the tendrils of a startled octopus, but no elaborate facial tattoos or big makeup bar through his ears or lips. I'm a vampire hunter. He pushed down on the wooden thing. It bent as easily as a blade of grass bending sideways. It's fake for a mother, see? The boy's red eyes were way too bright for a green. Clary noticed the colour of antifreeze spring grass. Coloured contact lenses, probably. The bouncer shrugged, apparently bored. Whatever, go on in. The boy slid past him, quick as an eel. Clary liked the lift of his shoulders. Bray tossed his hair as he went. There was a word for him, and the mother was viewed in ascendant. You thought it was cute? Simon sounded resigned, didn't you? Clary dug her elbow in his ribs, but didn't answer. Inside the club was full of dry, high smoke. Colour lights played over the dance floor, turning it into a multicoloured fairy light of blues and acid greens, hot pinks and golds. That's a few lines of Stitch Your Bones from Modern Instruments. I fluffed up a few lines there because, as I'm sure I said in other blogs and other vlogs, I also have autism and dyslexia. So even though I do have strong reading range, sometimes I miss lines or mistake lines. Okay, so I will now try and find infernal devices. Clockwork Angel. Okay, this is Clockwork Angel, which is also by Cassandra Clare. City of Bones was also by Cassandra Clare. Prologue, London, April 1878. The demon exploded in a shower of ichor and guts. William Herondale jerked back the dagger he was holding, but it was too late. Vicious acid of the demon's blood had already begun to eat away at the shining blade. He swore and tossed the weapon aside, landed in a filthy puddle, and commenced smouldering like a doused match. The demon itself, of course, had vanished, dispatched back to whichever hellish world it had come from, though not without leaving a mess behind. "Jem!" Will called, turning around. "Where are you? Did you see that? Killed it with one blow. Not bad, huh?" But there was no answer to Will's shout. His hunting partner had been standing behind him in the damp and crooked streets a few moments before, guarding his back. Will was positive, but now Will was alone in the shadows. He found, in annoyance, it was much less fun showing off without Jem to show off too. He glanced behind him to where the streets narrowed into a passage that gave onto the black, heaving water of the Thames in the distance. Through the gap, Will could see the dark outlines of docked ships, a forest of masts, like a leafless orchard. No Jem there. Perhaps he had gone back to Narrow Street in search of better illumination. With a shrug, Will headed back to where he came. Narrow Street cut across Limehouse between the docks, beside a river, and clamped sums spreading west toward Whitechapel. It was a narrow, as its name suggested, lined with warehouses and lopsided wooden buildings. At the moment it was deserted. Even the drunk staggering home from the grapes of the world had found somewhere to collapse for the night. Will liked Limehouse, like the feeling of being on edge of the world, where ships left each day for unimaginably far ports. That, the area, was a sailor's haunt, and consequently full of gambling hells, opium dens, and brothels didn't hurt either. It was easy to lose yourself in a place like this. He didn't even mind the smell of it. Smoke and rope and tar, foreign spices, mixed with a dirty river, was the smell of the Thames. Now that was from the Infernal Devices Clockwork Angel. I'm just going to find the last book. Okay, this one's a little bit hard to find. Sometimes I love having a Kindle, sometimes I hate it. Okay, now I'm up to chapter 3 on the actual book, but I'm just going to go back to the start. Allow me. Okay. Okay, now this is from the Dark Hunter series, which is by the other author. Starts off, Night Pleasures, an ancient Greek legend. Born to extreme wealth, Caroline of Therese wielded charm and charisma, as powerful as he wielded his sword, courageous and bold. He ruled the world around him and knew nothing save the very passionate side of his nature. Ardent, wild, and restless, he lived his lived his life recklessly. He knew no danger, no limitations. The world was his oyster, and he vowed to feed fully from it. The resentful Aries, the body and face of Adonis, and the sensual gifts of Aphrodite, he was sought by all women who saw him. They wanted him for their own, dreamed of possessing the proud warrior prince, whose touch was said to be the closest a woman could ever come to paradise. But he was not a man whose heart was easily tamed. He was a man who lived for the moment, lived for his senses, and for the wild fulfilment of all his desires. He loved pleasure, both the giving and receiving. The few women who had claimed him for the night of its as Christ lauded it over those who could only dream of touching an exquisite body. For he was passion, desire, all things sensual and hot, a born warrior. He was respected and feared by all who knew him. And at a time when the Roman Empire was invincible, he alone beat the Romans back for heroes' glee, and brought riches and glory to his name and homeland. For a while, 'tis was he will be ruler of the known world, until an act of betrayal made him the ruler of the night. Now he walks a shadowy realm between life and the underworld. Neither man nor beast is something else entirely. His solitude is darkness. Okay, so I've read just a couple of lines, a couple of pages from the books, and they're completely different feel, completely different, but I just can't see how the author of the Dark Hunters series can say that Cassandra has copied her books. From reading the Dark Hunter books is the more adult as well. I mean, like, yeah, I'm going to be really careful not to give spoilers away, but in the third book of Infernal Devices and the last book of Immortal Instruments, she kind of like touches on adult subjects, but from what I've researched about the Dark Hunter books and what I've heard and what I've read, they're more adult from the start, and Cassandra is a young adult author. At the moment, there's nothing I can say I can link to the two. I suppose you could say the person in the last book is kind of like Valentine, who's the main bad guy in the Mortal Instruments, but the story centres more around Jace and Jason Valentine and Clary, and in Infernal Devices it's set Manuel, Jen, Tessa. And to be honest, in this other book, I'm not exactly sure if the characters are based around, because one minute I'm reading about one character, and then I'm just kind of like, hang on a minute, where did that character come from? And it's very, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think from what I've read of the Dark Hunter books, they are good, but they're I just can't fathom out how she can compare her books to Cassandra's. I know that the Dark Hunters books was done in '98, from what I've heard of other people in the groups, and Cassandra did hers in 2006, 2008, and it's just how. So yeah, I just wanted to share like some of the pages that I've read, and just that really. Again, I'm sorry for fluffing the lines up and I hope that Cassandra and me of Love can sort things out, because at the end of the day, the line that Tessa says to Will, and we're talking about books, and I'm just going to see if I can find the line. It's basically like saying like books have power to change us, words have the power to change us. Books are dangerous things, they have the power to change us, but books can also be amazing things. They take us to worlds where we can only dream of going, and they can take us on adventures. They can take us to worlds like Victorian London and New York, where there's creatures like vampires and werewolves and shadow hunters, and whenever me and Midnight go down to London, we found with London Institute is, or what we believe to be the London Institute, and we have found the bones graveyard, Crossbones graveyard, and we've kind of like, whenever we go to London and we go to the Institute, we always get the feeling like Will is coming over to us and saying, "Hello ladies, you're back again," kind of thing. And just that, the fact that a book can do that, and a book can take you on that adventure, that it feels so real. Like whenever you go to a place it's set, you can see the characters and you can imagine what the character's doing. It's the same with the Harry Potter books. If you go to some of the Harry Potter locations, you see the Harry Potter characters there at the location. That is a good book. But when you start living the book and you start seeing what's going on, that is a sign that a good author. And I think that's, with the Dark Hunter series, I don't get that feeling where I'm being gripped by it, and I'm like, I can imagine seeing the character doing what they're doing, and I think that's what makes Cassandra's books, just that gives Cassandra's books a little bit more edge. There's another author, Gail Carriger, who wrote the Powerful Protectorate books. Her books are also set in Victorian London, and me and Midnight and Ali, we say, okay, well, what if this character met that character? And we do crossovers, we call them the crossovers of doom. And I'm also like another book by, if I can find it, by an author called Kate Locke, who did a book series called The Queen is Dead, Long Live the Queen, God Save the Queen. This is set in kind of like an alternative universe. So, yeah, I think this whole lawsuit, this whole thing with you've took my ideas, it's a bit petty, because at the end of the day, they're both doing something that give people enjoyment, give people a release from reality, and the audience is big enough that even if the books are similar, even if the books are alike, then there's a big enough audience, big enough spectrum, that they can give everybody joy and happiness. And at the end of the day, isn't that what matters? That we enjoy the books, that we read the books, that, and yeah, it's their work, but it's just kind of like, it's I'm struggling my words here now. But it's just kind of like, I just don't see why we should be arguing over it, because we are very different. Okay, I'm going to log off now because it is 12:30 and I was meant to be doing this before and I forgot. So anyway, I'm really sorry for rambling and I'm really sorry for tripping over my words. But I will say good night now and speak to you all soon. Bye.